The 100 days challenge, did I abandon it or did I finish it? Hey YouTube, and welcome back to my channel. If you guys saw my last video, you'll probably know that give or take 100 days ago, I set out on a challenge to become a better version of myself. I devised a somewhat complicated plan of how I was going to get myself from point A to point B by improving on 5 areas in my life: my fitness, my nutrition, my appearance, my organization, and my social media use. And I came up with a whole plan on how to do this, which I talked about in my last video. If you're interested in specifics and how I came up with the various goals that would make me a better person in 100 days, check out that last video. But this video is now me coming to you guys at the end of the challenge. I've done everything that I said I was supposed to do, more or less. And I just wanted to reflect on all the things that I learned. Did the challenge work? Did it not work? And just, conclude that open parentheses. First things first, did I complete the challenge? Well, in the sense that I did 99% of the things that were on my to-do list in my chart of the 100 days challenge. Yes, I did do that, and yes, I did do them in the 100 days. Obviously, the hardest part of the challenge was sticking to the challenge. And I think that when I came up with the idea to do this challenge, I really was searching for more structure in my life because I live a very unstructured life, and that can be pretty disorienting. I'm self-employed in a untraditional industry in a country that is not the easiest country to work in exactly. And furthermore, I have to wear a lot of different hats in order to run my various businesses. So all this to say, I think I was just feeling very burnt out and very disoriented. And so I wanted a way to have a more structured life. I was tired of thinking, and so I tried to create a new life out of routine and habit, which would allow me to not only be a better version of myself, but would allow me to be this better version of me without having to think too much. And so the 100 Day Get Your Life Together challenge was born. And though it was easy because it was written out, everything was right there. It was literally, okay, day 1, this is what I need to do. Day 2, this is what I need to do. And they were really easy and achievable things to do, I think. It was hard to now put this structure, this very rigid structure, on top of my unstructured life. Every time that I had to travel for work or some other reason, that forced me to deviate from my routine, and it would be so hard to get back into it. How am I going to go to the gym at 7 a.m. every morning if my work requires me to be at events that go from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. I get home by midnight or later? How am I supposed to keep my house tidy when I just got back from a trip from Nigeria and my giant suitcase is in the middle of my house and I don't want to unpack it because I'm tired? But how can my house be tidy if there is a giant unpacked or packed suitcase sitting in the middle of it? It was just kind of hard to stick to certain things like tidy my house every single day, go to the gym at 7 a.m. every single day when my life is so unstructured. There were definitely times where I didn't stick exactly to the challenge and do things exactly when they needed to be done. But thankfully, I kind of foresaw this before I even made the challenge, and so I allowed for wiggle room within the structure. You guys may or may not have remembered that from my last video. I had weekends off or as time to catch up on the tasks that I had missed. And so, for example, I think it was 2 weekends to organize all those various places in my house that I wanted to organize. Sometimes, yes, I would take a week to only do challenge activities after a week of maybe not doing most of them. So you can say that I overcame the challenge of consistency by taking things one day at a time and giving myself space to deviate from the plan. I think that in all of this, I finally accepted that I am a human, and no matter how much I plan something, it's highly likely, 90% of the time, that it's not going to be perfect. Perfection truly does not exist. I know, because I have tried to achieve it many, many times and I've never been able to. Over time, I just started to tell myself, as long as I finished the plan more or less on time, I would be happy. And I did that, and so I am happy. By the end of the challenge, I had a very impressive daily, weekly, and monthly routine, which looked like this, and this. I made these using AI, using these prompts. I told the AI what I typically did in a day and a week and what I wanted to do in my day and my week. And then I asked it to come up with a schedule for me to follow, mixing the two together. After that, I manually put the schedule that it came up with into my Google Calendar, which also synced with my Apple Calendar on my phone. And I must say that in hindsight, I wish I had done this at the beginning of the challenge and not towards the end, because although you never will stick to this schedule 100%, just having it as a daily guide makes things so much easier. It makes it so much easier for you to do the things that you actually want to do. It takes out the thinking and gives you a structure that you just have to follow. So I definitely got better with the challenge towards the end, because I would just wake up and my phone would already be giving me notifications on exactly what I needed to do that day at what time. And over time, that became an automatic routine. I repeat that I don't follow this crazy color-coded schedule 100% every day, but I do mostly follow it most of the time, and that's made a huge difference in terms of my time management, productivity, and also rest, because I also made sure to include rest in my schedule. I did manage to reach my fitness goal of going to the gym 4 times a week, with one day being dedicated to a Pilates class that I do at my gym. I do drink my 2 liters of water almost every day. Apparently, people that have their lives together drink a lot of water. Meal planning is still a work in progress. What I'll do is I'll do it sometimes for a few days a week. But like I said, I'm rarely at home for a whole week in the summer. So it's more difficult to really get into a routine with regards to meal planning. Furthermore, I have to, factor in Enrico, because I do have a husband, I do have my family. And so it's not like I'm just prepping my meals and eating my meals myself. We both need to get into more of a routine around groceries, food prep, and cooking, etc. But, we're getting there. I think a really proud moment of this challenge was in the last month. For 2 entire weeks, I made breakfast, lunch, and dinner for the 2 of us, which is essentially unheard of, because I'm not talking about pasta with canned pesto. I was actually making pancakes and rice with minced meat. In that way, I would say that the challenge changed me, because who would have ever thought that that would ever happen? On my appearance, I feel like I achieved my goal 50%, but it's also true that I haven't really had much reason to go out in the past few months. Aside from traveling outside of the country for other things, I don't really have many occasions where I need to leave my house and go out into Milan and so be wearing makeup, for example. I do wear actual clothes when going outside to the grocery or to the stores, so that is an improvement. But overall, I could probably do more with regards to my personal style. So I'm going to dedicate more time to that in the coming months. Organization is an area that I actually did really well on, and I'm proud of it, because it's the first time that I can actually say everything in my house has a place and there isn't really clutter. When you move and you're so overwhelmed by the process of moving that you'll just put some stuff anywhere to get it out of sight. And then before you know it, you have drawers or shelves or multiple drawers and shelves of stuff, miscellaneous things. And so we had those, and finally, 3 years after living in our home, they're finally sorted. Lastly, the area where I think that I kind of failed was social media usage. I did not reduce my social media as much as I wanted, and though my social media is more curated and I feel like I get some sort of value from it, I just feel like I spend too much time on social media. So that is going to be something that I will have to continue working on, which is obviously hard because social media is my job. So we can say that overall, I was really able to smash about half of my goals that I set out to achieve, and the ones that I didn't achieve completely are still in a good place. They're a work in progress. So overall, I'd say that I'm pretty happy with how this challenge went for me. I think that the most surprising thing that I learned about myself is that I can actually be imperfect, and I can give myself space to do things at the pace that I really want to do them. It's ironic because when you look at this challenge, it looks so precise and meticulous, which is how I usually am as a person. But like I said, I built it with space to not stick to the plan and still achieve my goals. And when I started to fall behind with my posting schedule, for example, because I did want to document all of this, Rather than give up because a part of the challenge wasn't going as planned for me, I just told myself that I'm a human with limited capacity, and at the end of the day, I'm doing this challenge because I want to see results. So I'll just finish it and I'll figure out the content later. Maybe for somebody that sounds obvious and that it's like a no-brainer that I would tell myself that, but for me, that was big. And I'm sure that there's a lot of people out there like me who can be very hard on themselves. And so it was just nice that even in doing this challenge to be a better version of myself, I still was able to give myself 3 months to just focus on me in the most forgiving and soft way, if that makes any sense. And I'd like to continue doing that going forward because yes to high standards, but also yes to sustainable routines, being kind to yourself, and most importantly, not burning yourself out. So yeah, the 100-day challenge is over. Do I look like a whole new me? No. Is my life drastically different than it was before? Not really. But what I will say is that I feel like my life is a lot more organized, and I feel like I have a lot more control over my time, productivity, and rest. I feel healthier, and I feel like I overall do have more energy. But that being said, as soon as I go overboard, I also feel very tired again. So I think I need to maintain the rhythm at which I do things. And essentially, another thing that I learned from this challenge are my own limits and how to not overdo or overpush them. Now that my days are organized, for example, they have very large specific blocks of time that I need to dedicate to work and creating content. And because of that, I'm actually doing that, which is exciting. I took these 100 days to put content kind of on the back burner again as I was, getting my life together quite literally. But it's the first time that I feel rested and like I can create and I can come out with new ideas and I can do the work that I'm supposed to be doing, but also get joy from that work, because it's been a while since I've gotten joy or felt good about creating content. I think that actually that's the biggest change that I got out of this challenge, aside from, going to the gym and drinking water. The biggest change is that I do finally have a structure. Almost 100 of you downloaded the 100-day challenge template, so I'm interested to know if any of you guys attempted it and how far you were able to get through it. What are some of your reflections after the 100 days? Although I wasn't able to document my challenge so that we could all do it together, I hope that for those of you who weren't motivated enough to finish the challenge because you didn't see me finishing the challenge, now that you have seen this video, you'll have the motivation to finish your challenge, because I think that if not anything else, you'll be really happy with yourself. I'm overall very happy to have completed this challenge, and I think I did it at the perfect time. I have a really busy summer ahead. I'm not taking the summer off at all, but it doesn't even look so daunting or scary because I have an underlying structure that allows me to just take one thing one day at a time. An unexpected thing that happened during this challenge was that I started learning a new language, and I'm going to talk a bit about my language learning journey, and along with that, I just have generally, I think, some really interesting content coming up about a new life transition that I'm experiencing. So if you're interested in seeing what's up next for me, be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and as always, I'll see you guys in my next one. Mwah.